Ronnie Clemmer.
And I'm Laya Gelff. Tonight, Ronnie and I are on the campus of Wayne State University in the physics building visiting one of their laboratories.
This particular laboratory is doing an experiment with different elements and their heat capacities. Heat capacities at very low temperatures, around 3 to 4 degrees Kelvin. Now that's translated, means about 400 degrees below zero on the Fahrenheit scale. Here at Wayne State University, they did a lot of physics experiments, everything from nuclear physics to solid-state physics.
Well, much of that is foreign to me, but when I think of physics, right away I think of Albert Einstein.
And tonight, Laura, you're going to get to meet Albert Einstein. Well, not Albert himself in the flesh, but an actor named Ed Metzger, who is portraying Albert Einstein in a one-man show. Hiroshima, 1945. And the man credited with ushering in the atomic age was noted physicist Albert E. Einstein.
I think he was utterly crushed when his work wound up in the devastating instrument of an atom bomb. He was always, from the moment he came out with the theory, he said, I have a deep concern over my work and the consequences of it because of the human instinct for war and not for pacifism and peace.
This man who seems to know so much about Einstein is Ed Metzger, not a fellow scientist, but an actor who portrays Einstein. Yet what could possibly interest a successful Hollywood actor about an absent-minded scientist? And how can the life of one scientist be considered good theater?
Newspaper reporters and photographers, they are always following me around and they are asking me to find the fourth dimension, state the theory of relativity, comment on politics, what about prohibition, pacifism.
He's a household name, but what do we know about him? And the only thing I knew was that he was responsible for the equation E equal mc squared. What kind of man was he? What was his thinking, his philosophy, his different thoughts? We fell in love with the man. And that's why we're here.
Along with his wife and producer, Laya Gelff, Ed spent years researching Einstein's life. Together, they present a fascinating one-man show to audiences all over the country, many of whom know the scientist, but very little of the private man.
We had to be selective, very selective, with our choice of material and the sequence and how were we going to put it together in an interesting and entertaining manner. This man had a wonderful sense of humor and a great wit, and besides the science that we all know, he was a warm and funny kind of man, and we have a lot of a good time with that in the play.
I feel so good when I take refuge in music. It frees my subconscious and helps me solve many problems. Except the problem of playing good. When that would take a miracle. When the only miracle there is that there are no miracles. I like taking about a half an hour just to walk around the set, which doesn't become a set on the stage to me. It becomes his chair, his pipe, which once I finish putting on the white in my hair, I light my pipe, and I start feeling the character from lighting the pipe, putting on the clothes as I put on the sweater and put the pen, how he carried the pen. It starts giving me the posture and the feeling of the man. The smell of the tobacco and so forth, and putting on my sneakers without socks. And I start feeling, by the time I walk around the stage within a half an hour, I'm ready. I'm in character and I'm ready to go.
I am what is known as a practical bohemian. Practical because I say that we are slaves to millions of things. Radios, frigidairs, automobiles, and many, many other things. And a bohemian because I reduce things to the absolute minimum. Long hair minimizes the need for a barber. When you go to sleep, nightshirts and pajamas are needless if you have bed covers. And when you wear shoes, socks can be done without. They only produce holes.
What did you go through to create the character of Einstein inside yourself?
Well, first I developed, at first I read all I could about the man and ingest him in a way, and then I, as the actor, would try to pick on a time of life, let's say at the age of 50, that I wanted to portray this man. And then I would go before people and say, ask me any question as if you were talking to Einstein. And I will answer you as Einstein, you know, as the actor portraying Einstein, and you let me know if it's believable.
When questions were asked about things that you felt uncertain about, how did you go about responding?
Well, the hardest question I had asked was, can you define the whole theory of relativity? And I defined it in the play very simply, and I gave that simple explanation, the first part and the second part, and they said, well, go a little further. And Einstein used to say, which was an interesting remark, if I have to explain the theory of relativity any further than using words, and I have to start using mathematical equations, then it becomes for a specific audience, physicists only, and that I will not do in the general public.
Acceleration. The yo-yo bobbing up and down the string at different velocities is an example of acceleration. Well, this is what I refer to in the second part of the theory of relativity. The yo-yo going down the string is gravity, and coming up is inertia. The relationships that exist between acceleration, gravity, and inertia, and the effects that they produce on one another, is the essence of the second part of the theory of relativity.
Do you ever worry that perhaps you identify too strongly with Einstein, that this has become your whole sense of purpose or your whole sense of self-meaning?
Well, yes, I think about it, and I really don't care. I'm in a profession where everything is typecast and so forth, and if Einstein is the only thing that I end up doing in my life, then I don't think I've done too bad as an actor. Of course, I would like to do other things, and I will do other things, but if the industry only sees me for many years as Einstein, then that's their problem.
Have you started taking on the characteristics of the man you portray?
Well, it's interesting. From a great man like this, you have to learn something. The man taught me that each individual has a ticking within himself that he has to listen to. And if you go out of that own rhythm, that own ticking for what you want to be, what you want to do, where you want to go, then it's never going to happen. You're never going to be happy. You're never going to be satisfied. I'm happy just to put on a hair and a mustache a little bit. I'm happy if that's all that it takes. I mean, just think that in years to come, the older I get and the baggier I get, the more I'm going to look like Einstein. And the less gray I have to use in my hair. One day I'll just be able to walk into the auditorium, put on my Einstein outfit, and just get on the stage and perform it. I'm delighted. I'm happy.
I wonder if someday there may be a time machine so we can actually go back and interview those people live. We'll be right back with previews of tomorrow night's PM Magazine.